I'm going to be making the chai lip balm next, so I'm super excited about it. I love my chai tea. So I'm going to show you my setup. I already have my water going. If you have a true double boiler, then you can do it. But I find this easiest for chopsticks. I use a Pyrex measuring cup looped over in my pan. That way when I go to pour my chopstick into my tubes, it's a lot easier for me to manage. That's what I like to do. So I have my chopstick tubes ready. I have this handy dandy holder on Amazon. I'm going to double this recipe because I want a lot of these because I think they're going to be really yummy. So I have 15 tubes set up just in case I have extra. And then I have all my supplies. So I have my cocoa butter, which I've pre-scooped because it's kind of a pain. You can buy it in a block form and when you can cut your measurements. Just make sure if you do that you have a really, really sharp knife because it can get kind of hard. I have my beeswax. You can get white or yellow. Make sure it's all natural, organic. It's going on your lips. I have my vitamin E oil. For my liquid carrier, I'm going to use sweet almond oil. You can choose whichever you would like. It's good for skin and hair and all that sort of stuff, so I tend to use that in a lot of my beauty products. I have my vanilla. I have my oils. I have my ginger, clove, cinnamon bark, and cardamom. So I also am going to step it up a little bit because I want to get ready for the holidays, and I have some shimmer, which I'm going to put in because I like things that are sparkly. That's just me. So the first step is to melt all of your melty stuff together. So like your cocoa butter, your beeswax, and your sweet almond oil, your carrier oil. I already have my cocoa butter scooped out because like I said, it's kind of a pain to get out if you do it by in the canister like I do. I've bought in both forms. I'm not quite sure which one I like better. So there is my 3 teaspoons of cocoa butter. And then I'm going to do my beeswax. And the beeswax is what takes the longest to melt. And so you just want to make sure that you keep stirring it until it's melted. The cocoa butter melts pretty fast, which is nice. So I'm going to do 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 teaspoons of beeswax, and then I grab my almond oil. So I'm doubling it, so I'm going to need actually 3 tablespoons plus a teaspoon. And easy conversions, 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. Yes, I have my handy dandy kitchen chart for that. Alright, so there's my 3 tablespoons. And then I'm going to get my 1 teaspoon. For a total of 10 teaspoons of carrier oil. So now it's just going to be stirred. So I have a little whisk that I keep for just my oil projects. Because sometimes you can't get all that residue off, so it's nice if you have a dedicated tool for it. And you are just going to keep stirring until, like I said, your beeswax is almost melted, and that's what takes the longest, unfortunately. So, and then when it goes all at once. You'll just be sitting there waiting, and then all of a sudden, you've got no more beeswax pellets. It's all melted. So it's not like one of those ones that you slowly watch it fade away. It's just, it reaches whatever temperature it needs to, and then it's liquid. So don't be alarmed if that happens. Kitchen will smell fabulous making all these tubes, I know. My helper has already gone to bed for the evening, so less distractions hopefully for this guy. So my beeswax is starting to melt. I'll show you what it kind of looks like. So it's starting to go, and then it's just gone. All of a sudden, just like that. And then we're sorry guys. So I'm going to pull off the heat. That way I can add my oils, my vanilla, my vitamin E oil, and I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer. The shimmer, you really just need, if you're going to use it, you just need a skosh. You don't need a whole lot. So You want to make sure that you're not using too much, because a little will go a long way. So here's my liquid base. This is what I've got. All right, so I'm going to add my vitamin E oil. Recipe calls for 4, so I'm going to add 8 drops. 1, 2. And then I need a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla because I'm doubling it. It normally calls for an 1/8. If I can get it open. And you can stir in between if you want. You can wait till it's all at the end. You just want to move faster, as fast as you can, because if it starts to harden again, you're not going to be able to pour. I keep my water on the stove. I turn it off. That way if I have to dump it back in and kind of like reheat it, it's good to help. All right, now I'm going to add my essential oils. So they're going to get 6 drops of each. Cinnamon smells amazing. They all do, but that's really powerful. All right, there's my clove. And last is my ginger. All right, so I'm gonna give this a good mix before I add my shimmer, because I have found that the shimmer does not mix well and sometimes it floats on the top. So I want to make sure everything is well incorporated before I add that, and I'm going to keep mixing my shimmer as I go. Okay, so very carefully open my shimmer, and I'm just going to, if you're using shimmer, it's all on preference. How much you want, how little, how much. You want subtle, don't use too much. Or you could go crazy and just have straight shimmer. It's awesome. Alright, so now I'm ready to pour into my molds. Here, if you do my method, your Pyrex will still be hot, so please, please, please be careful. And then I'm just gonna pour into each one. And if you're finding that your mix is hardening too quick as you go to pour, you can soak a paper towel in your hot water from your double boiler and wrap it around your Pyrex dish, and it will help keep your mix warm and malleable. And I'm going to swirl because all my shimmer is gathering at the bottom. So I usually let mine sit for at least a half an hour to make sure they're fully hard before using or packing them up or anything. I'm getting towards the end. As you can see, a lot of my shimmer is down there. It's super dark. So I'm probably not going to use the last tube. We'll see. Okay, well, so this made 14 tubes. See, recipes are always a little bit higher. So I'm gonna let them sit and then I'll cap them. And then just like with everything else, you can decorate as you see fit. And if you want specific labels, there's a lot of Etsy shops that have chapstick labels. Spoiled Graphics is my favorite. But you can washi tape any other label you want. You can even print like straight Avery labels and decorate them and make them all cute. So I hope you guys enjoy.